That market is huge. So this weekend, we're gonna take a look at 4 farmers markets, all located on the west side of the Portland metro area. What you see behind me is the Beaverton Farmers Market. We're gonna check out Cedar Mill, we're gonna check out the PSU, and then tomorrow we'll be checking out the Hillsdale Farmers Market. We're gonna give you all the scoop about what the pet situation is, what the parking looks like, and just what we find at each of these farmers markets, and just some feedback on what we think of them. So let's go check it out. It's been about 8 years since I've been to the Beaverton Farmers Market, and it's grown so much since then. They have so many plant-based and gluten-free options, as well as alcohol-free specialty beverages. Of course, there's typical produce you'll find at any farmer's market: fruits, vegetables, native plants, garden starts, flowers, you name it, they've got everything. There are prepared foods as well, some packaged frozen food. We spent some time chatting with Cultured Kindness. It's a plant-based cheese, and the vendor that was there was so amazing to talk to. We also came away with some amazingly delicious treats. I'm honestly so blown away and impressed by the size and variety of this market. There are over 200 vendors, which is by far the biggest of the 4 markets we're going to cover today. There was live music playing, the whole market felt very lively. When we first got there, we were a little concerned about the parking situation, but it ended up not being that big of a deal. We had to park a few blocks away, but it was totally worth it because of how many vendors were there. We ended up getting a ton of goodies, both things we needed and of course things that we didn't need, but once we saw them, we needed them. Breakfast, more breakfast. I'm not going to show all the other cookies and stuff. This market has been happening since 1988. It's held every Saturday from February through November across the Beaverton City Library on Southwest Hall Blvd. Service animals are welcome, but any other dogs need to be carried, secured in a carrier, or pushed in a stroller or wagon. When we left, we saw that there was a No Kings demonstration, who we had to honk for, of course, and then we were on our way to the Cedar Mill Farmers Market. So we just arrived at the Cedar Mill Farmers Market, and first takes are it's much smaller than the one we just came from, but parking's great. We're in a parking lot, so there are a lot of parking spaces and you don't have to walk as far, but we're gonna go take a look now and we'll let you know what we think. Even though this is a much smaller market, there are still around 40 vendors here. The market's been going on since 1999, and there are currently vendors selling produce, crafts, mushrooms, coffee, and all the standard things you'll find at any of the farmers markets in the Pacific Northwest. They also had live music, and their online calendar lists upcoming musicians. The Cedar Mill Farmers Market is held on Saturdays from May through October, and it's in the corner of the Safeway parking lot at Northwest Cornell and Murray Roads. And this is the only market we visited that said leash dogs are welcome. So if you're hoping to bring your furry friend shopping with you, Cedar Mill is the place for it. From here, we made our way downtown to the PSU Farmers Market. The PSU Farmers Market is in a great location on the Portland State campus. There are about 100 vendors, but it felt like many more because of how spread out the market is. It also helped to not feel like we were crammed in with a bunch of people in tight alleyways, which made the shopping feel much more relaxed. Because of all the trees in the park blocks, we were in the shade for most of the time, so it wasn't quite as hot as some of the other markets that are just in parking lots. Aside from the great setting, this market runs year-round, so you're able to shop your local farmers and food producers all year long to have seasonally fresh foods. Even though there were many signs around about not having your pets at the market, there were certainly dogs all around. We've lucked out finding a great parking spot along the park blocks, but since it's right downtown, it's likely that parking is normally pretty tricky, but there are buses that run nearby and the streetcar runs right through campus. So if you're near a streetcar line, this makes transportation an easy option. So for your Saturday's markets, you have Beaverton, Cedar Mill, and PSU to choose from. The next market we're going to cover takes place on Sundays. Perfect, thank you. Have a good day. The Hillsdale Farmers Market is bigger than Cedar Mill, but smaller than Beaverton or PSU. But there are still around 60 vendors present with a good variety of options. There's so much great produce, prepared foods, and specialty foods like vegan and gluten-free options, which we're always on the lookout for. The market is held in the parking lot between Ida B. Wells High School and the elementary school. The Hillsdale Market lists vendors on their website so you can see which ones will be present the day that you're planning on going. Not all vendors are there every time, so it's worth looking in advance if there's a vendor that you're hoping to purchase from. There's a parking lot at the high school and the Hillsdale Orthodontics lot on Capitol Highway, but there's also street parking in the neighborhoods nearby. Unlike the other markets that are held in more commercial areas, the Hillsdale Market is near residential areas, so you'll be fighting for a spot in neighborhoods where residents are already parking their cars. So you'll likely have to walk a little ways to get to the market. This market takes place on Sundays year-round and welcomes service animals only. Shopping at all the farmers markets feels like the opposite of door dashing your groceries. There is care and attention paid not only to picking out the ingredients for your next home-cooked meal, but there's also the opportunity to meet your local farmers, the people who are growing the foods we love and contributing to community building and boosting our local economy. All the markets we showcased in this video accept SNAP benefits, which makes buying fresh local ingredients even more accessible to all of our community members. It's not surprising that the Portland area has so many farmers markets. With the longest growing season of any North American agricultural zone, we have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to fresh, locally grown produce. We only covered 4 farmers markets in this video, but there are so many more that you can choose from. Personally, the PSU and Beaverton markets are my faves. Beaverton had more options for vegan and gluten-free foods, and PSU is the best for this setting. So if you're on the west side, Beaverton and PSU would be the ones that I would pick if you have a lot of shopping that you want to get done and you need a wide variety of vendors. Cedar Mill and Hillsdale's are great as well, but are just slightly more limited in scope. If you're curious what I'm growing in my own garden, here's a video that walks you through what my garden looks like right now.
Look at those carrots. Wow.